Welcome to Talk with Hana, your English learning podcast channel. Let's learn English simply and confidently together. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk with Hana. I'm so glad you're here with us today. I am Hana.
And I am Josh. It's great to have you here. I was actually thinking about today's topic on my way to work this morning, and I almost forgot the word I needed. It happens to me all the time.
Oh, same. It's one of the most frustrating things, right? You're in the middle of a conversation and then nothing. The word just disappears from your brain.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. What do you say when you forget a word in English? Because this happens to everyone, native speakers included.
That's right. By the end of today's episode, you're going to have real, natural phrases you can use when your mind goes blank. You won't need to freeze or say nothing. You'll know exactly how to keep the conversation going.
And we want to hear from you. Have you ever forgotten a word in English right in the middle of a sentence? What did you do? Tell us in the comments.
And if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to Talk with Hana so you don't miss our new episodes every day. We'd love for you to be part of our community.
Okay, let's jump in. We're going to start with the most basic and useful phrases, the ones you can use right away.
So, let's start with the foundation. When you forget a word in English, the worst thing you can do is just stop talking and go completely silent. That makes the other person uncomfortable. Instead, you want to fill the gap while you think.
Right, and the good news is English speakers use these gap-filling phrases all the time. You'll hear them in every conversation, so using them makes you sound more natural, not less.
The basic structure is simple. You say something that signals you're searching for a word, and then you either find it or describe it. Think of it like this: pause phrase plus description or gesture.
So here are some of the most common phrases. First, what's the word? You just say, what's the word? And then pause. Everyone knows you're thinking. Second, how do you say? You might use this when you know the word in your language, but not in English. Third, I can't think of the word right now. This is a full sentence that buys you time. Fourth, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, I love this one.
That last one is so useful. It's on the tip of my tongue means you almost remember it. It's right there, but you just can't get it out. Native speakers say this all the time, so it's very natural to use.
Let me give you some examples of how to sound in a real conversation. Imagine you're at a restaurant and you want to order something, but you forget the name. You could say, I'd like what's the word? The soup with the noodles and the vegetables. Or you could say, can I get I can't think of the word. The thing they put on salad, the creamy sauce.
Oh, I've done that so many times. And you know what? People totally understand. They'll usually help you or wait patiently. The key is to keep talking. Don't stop.
Exactly. Can you try it right now? Think of a word you sometimes forget in English. Say the sentence out loud using what's the word or I can't think of the word right now. Write your example in the comments. We'd love to see it.
Now, what about the negative? Well, there isn't really a negative form here, but you can make these phrases softer or more apologetic. For example, sorry, I can't remember the word, or I apologize, I've forgotten how to say this in English. These are polite ways to handle the situation.
Can you use these phrases when you're writing? Not really. These are for speaking. When you're writing, you have more time to look things up. These phrases are specifically for real-time conversation when you need to keep things flowing. So remember, what's the word? How do you say? I can't think of it, and it's on the tip of my tongue. 4 powerful phrases for buying time.
Okay, so now you know how to signal that you're searching for a word. But here's the next level. What if you can't remember the word and you can't find it? You need to describe the thing instead. This is called circumlocution, which basically means talking around the word.
And this is actually a really advanced skill, even though it feels like cheating. Describing something instead of naming it shows you understand the concept. You just need help with the label. And sometimes it leads to great conversations.
So the phrases you use here are, it's a kind of, or it's like a, or it's the thing you use to, or it's the place where you. Let me give you some real-life examples.
Okay, let's say you forget the word stapler. You could say, it's the thing you use to hold papers together. You press it down and it puts a little metal piece through the paper. Anyone would know you mean a stapler. Or you forget pharmacy. You say it's the place where you go to get medicine. It's usually inside or near a hospital or a supermarket. Done.
I love this approach. One time I forgot the word kettle. You know, the thing you use to boil water for tea. I just said the water boiling machine for tea, and my friend immediately knew what I meant.
Now, formally versus informally, this strategy works in both situations, but the phrasing changes slightly. In a casual conversation, you might say, "Oh, you know, that thing, the one you used to." In a more formal situation, you'd say, "I'm referring to the device used for," or "I mean the process by which."
Let's do a quick practice activity. I'm going to describe something and you try to guess the word. Ready? It's the thing you carry when it's raining. It opens up and keeps you dry. What is it? Say the answer out loud.
An umbrella. Great. Now here are some tips for describing things well. First, say what category it belongs to. Is it a tool, a place, a person, a food? Second, say what it's used for or what it does. Third, say what it looks like if that helps. Those 3 steps will almost always get your meaning across.
We want you to try this right now. Think of a word you've forgotten in English before. Describe it in the comments without using the word. Can you describe it well enough that other learners can guess it? Let's see how well you can do.
So to review this section, when you forget a word, describe it. Use it's a kind of, it's the thing you used to, it's a place where, and it's like a. Describe the category, the function, and the appearance. And remember, this isn't giving up. This is real communication.
Now for our third strategy, asking for help. This one is my personal favorite because it turns a moment of forgetting into a real interaction with the person you're talking to. You involve them in finding the word, and that actually builds connection.
Yes, and it's so simple. You just ask the other person directly. Some great phrases for this are, "What's the word I'm looking for?" Or "How do you say this in English?" Or "Is there a word for?" Or "What do you call it when?"
Let me show you how these work in context. Imagine you're talking to a colleague and you want to say someone is being passive-aggressive, but you can't remember the phrase. You could say, is there a word for when someone is angry but they won't say it directly? They just act weird about it. And your colleague will probably say passive-aggressive.
And in a more casual situation, like talking to a friend, you might say, "What do you call it when you feel nostalgic but also a little sad?" There's a word for that, right? And they might say wistful or melancholy. You've just learned a new word through conversation.
For politeness and naturalness, it helps to use a little softening language before you ask. Instead of just asking directly, try, sorry, what's the word for? Or, excuse me, I'm blanking on the word for. Or, don't mind me, I've totally forgotten. What do you call? These little additions make the question feel very natural and not abrupt.
Also, your tone matters a lot here. If you ask with a smile and a relaxed voice, it comes across as charming and human. If you ask in a stressed or embarrassed way, it might make the conversation awkward. So breathe, smile, and ask confidently. Everyone forgets words, even in their own language.
Let's do a mini practice together. I'm going to pretend I've forgotten a word and you tell me what you'd say back. Ready? What's the word? It's when you laugh at someone's joke even though you don't think it's funny. Is there a word for that?
Oh, I think you mean laughing politely or maybe a courtesy laugh. Some people also call it a forced laughter. Great, see how that works? You ask, they help, and now you both know the phrase. Speak your own example out loud right now. Practice asking for a word you genuinely don't know.
So, to structure what we just learned, strategy 3 is asking for help. Use what's the word I'm looking for? How do I say this in English? Is there a word for? And what do you call it when? Soften with sorry or excuse me and use a confident, relaxed tone. You're not failing, you're communicating.
Beautifully said. 3 strategies. Fill the gap and buy time, describe the word, and ask for help. Let's talk about some common mistakes people make when they use these strategies.
Okay, confession time. We all make mistakes, and honestly, making mistakes is how you get better. I used to make all of these mistakes when I was learning, so let's talk about them so you can avoid them.
Mistake number 1, going completely silent. When you forget a word, some learners just stop talking entirely. They look down or look away and the conversation dies. This makes everyone uncomfortable. The fix? Always say something, even if it's just, how do you say? Silence is the only wrong answer here.
Mistake number 2, translating directly from your language. So, in your language, you might have an expression for something that doesn't translate word for word into English. If you try to translate it directly, it can sound very strange. For example, in some languages, you might say the equivalent of, I have hunger, but in English, we say, I'm hungry. If you forget the word hungry, describe it instead. I feel like I need to eat. I haven't had food for a long time. Much clearer.
And mistake number 3, saying I don't know and stopping. There's a big difference between I don't know and I'm not sure how to say this in English. The first one shuts the conversation down. The second one invites the other person to help. Always invite help. Try I'm not sure of the exact word, but I mean instead of just I don't know.
Mistake number 4, over-apologizing. Some learners say, I'm so sorry, my English is terrible, I apologize, please forgive me, and it goes on and on. One brief apology is fine, sorry I forgot the word, but too much apologizing is distracting and actually makes the conversation harder. Say sorry once, move on, and keep talking. Your English is not terrible, you're learning.
Let's look at correct versus incorrect examples. Incorrect, total silence, followed by sorry, never mind. Correct. What's the word? It's the thing you use to, I can't remember right now, but it's like a small tool for opening bottles. Incorrect. I don't know this word, sorry. Correct. I'm not sure how to say this in English. Do you know the word for when you feel happy and sad at the same time? See the difference?
And please write a sentence in the comments using one of our strategies. Don't worry if it's not perfect. We celebrate the attempt here on Talk with Hana, not just the perfect answer. You're brave for trying.
Absolutely. Mistakes are part of the process. Every native speaker you've ever admired made thousands of mistakes before they got fluent. You're doing great. Keep going, keep talking, and keep using these strategies. Now let's practice together.
All right, time for our favorite part, interactive practice. This is called Choose the Better Response. I'll give you a situation and you decide which response sounds more natural. Ready? Say your answer out loud.
Situation 1. You're talking to your teacher and you forget the word assignment. Option A, you go silent and shake your head. Option B, you say, sorry, I forgot the word. I mean, the schoolwork you gave us to do at home. Which is better? Option B, of course. You kept talking and described it clearly.
Situation 2. A friend asks about your job and you forget the word accountant. Option A. I work with, I'm sorry, I don't know the English word, never mind. Option B. I work with money and numbers for a company. What's the English word for that? Which one? Yes, option B. You described it and asked for help.
Situation 3. You're ordering coffee and you forget how to say medium size. Option A, I want the, it's on the tip of my tongue, the size that's between small and large. Option B, you point at the menu and say nothing. Option A is much better. Even if you have to point, use your words first.
Situation 4. You're describing a movie to a friend and you forget the word sequel. Option A, it's like a kind of second movie that comes after the first one. Same characters, continues the story. Option B, oh, I forget the word, it doesn't matter. Option A wins every time. Describe it. That is the skill.
Now think about the formality level too. In a job interview, you'd say, I'm looking for the appropriate term. I believe I mean the follow-up project. With a friend, you'd say, you know that thing, like the second movie of a series. Both work, just match the situation.
Your challenge now. Create your own situation. Think of a word you often forget in English. Write it in the comments, but don't write the word. Describe it and see if other learners can guess. It's a fun little game and great practice.
And remember, in real conversation, it's never about being perfect. It's about being understood. Every phrase you learn today is used by real English speakers every single day. You belong in this conversation.
Wow, what an episode. Let's quickly go over everything we learned today because there was a lot of really useful stuff. We talked about what to do when you forget a word in English, and the answer is don't panic and don't go silent. You have options.
We covered 3 main strategies. Strategy 1, buy time with phrases like, what's the word? It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of the word right now. Strategy 2, describe the word using it's a kind of, it's the thing you use to, and it's like a. Strategy 3, ask for help with what's the word I'm looking for, and is there a word for.
And we talked about mistakes to avoid, like going silent, over-apologizing, or saying, I don't know, and shutting down the conversation. You now have the tools to handle those moments with confidence and grace.
Here's a reflective question for you. Think about the last time you forgot a word in English. Which of today's strategies could you have used in that moment? Write it in the comments. It's a great way to really lock in what you've learned today.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more learners like you. Share it with a friend who's learning English, and subscribe to Talk with Hana if you haven't already, so you get notified every time we put out a new episode. We're here every day with practical, real English for real conversations.
Learning English is a journey, and every step you take, including the moments when you forget a word, is part of that journey. Be kind to yourself. You are doing amazing things just by showing up and practicing. We are so proud of you. Thank you so much for spending this time with us on Talk with Hana. See you next time.